Now let's go ahead and take a look at what it takes to get this thing set up with your computer. We connect it to a computer with a USB cable. This is called a it's called a USB printer cable because it's what's normally used for printers. And it's also called a type A/B USB cable because this particular type of connection here is an A connection, and this particular type is a B connection. So type A/B or just USB printer cable. So we've got a USB cable here. The other end is already connected into a USB port of the computer. And so we just plug it right straight into here. And when we do that, we will see that over in the computer itself, we'll see it loading the driver. And now we can go ahead and switch over to the computer view and see what to do on the computer end of things. Okay, so once we have the DualPre connected to the computer via the USB cable, if you look, we haven't done it yet, but I'm about to. If you look right down in this area, you're going to see, it will tell you once we connect it that the device driver is being installed. So let's go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and connect it now. And after a bit, there we go, this little pops up. Let's left click on it and see it says here installing device driver software, and boom, the USB audio codec installed. The software for this device has been successfully installed, and it's called USB audio codec. All right, USB audio codec ready to use. Let's go ahead and close that. And then what we're going to do, we're going to right click where this sound icon is here. We're going to go ahead and right click, and then it gives us these three choices: playback devices, recording devices, sounds. We want to choose recording devices, so we'll left click there. And then here it is, the USB audio codec. That's the one that it just installed now. Don't worry about these other two. These are other microphones I have attached. The first thing we want to do here is let's go ahead and change the name of it because microphone just doesn't tell us enough. So what we're going to do, we want to get into properties. We can do that in three different ways. We can just right click on microphone, and there you see properties. We could choose that. Or we could left click on it once and come down here to properties and choose that. Or we can just double click on it. Either way, any of the three ways work fine. I just double click on it because it's easier. So there we go. Now see, it's just called microphone. So let's go ahead and change that. You can change it to whatever you want. I'm going to change it to USB DualPre microphone. So USB DualPre microphone. DualPre microphone. Okay, so that's that. You can hit apply. You don't have to, but now let's look at the levels. See, this sets it. This is Windows Vista I'm using. It sets it to 25. 25 is not going to work. I'm going to go up to 80. There's nothing magic about 80. You can do 70, 80, 90. You can do 100 if you want. Windows 7, it's different. Windows 7 has a preamplifier that's just on. It's a super. It amplifies too much, and so on Windows 7, instead of like 80 or 90, you're going to have it set at like 10 or maybe 20. You'll have to play with it yourself to see, but if you don't set it low, it will amplify it so much that there'll just be total distortion, won't be worth anything. So just keep that in mind with Windows 7. So 80 is fine there. Let's go over to advanced, where what we're most concerned about here, I like this. I like, it's a microphone, so it should only be on one channel. I mean, normally you're going to record in mono. One of two things. You're either going to record in mono, so use one channel that records in mono, so it records the exact same thing on both the left channel and the right channel. Or if you're using more than one sound source, two different microphones, or maybe a microphone plus a sound source coming from your computer or from an MP3 player or whatever, you might want for the whatever's being sent through the microphone, you might want it to go on one channel, and then your other sound source, another microphone or whatever, to go on the other channel. In either of those two situations, what you want is for it to be only set on one channel. Now, there could be times where, for whatever reason, you want to be able to independently edit the two channels. So in that case, you could set it. See, if we come up here to look at our choices, see, here's all the two-channel choices, and then here's all the one-channel choices. If you were to set it to a two-channel choice, then it would record the exact same thing on both channels, but you'd be able to edit independently those two channels. If you run into that case, fine, do it. But normally you just want it to be on one channel and either DVD quality or CD quality. What I'm doing is just voice. No one is ever going to hear the difference between 48,000 and 44.1. So I just choose 44.1, but you can choose 48,000 if you want. It doesn't, honestly, it doesn't really matter. So, so this part here, exclusive mode, just leave it as it is. It doesn't really matter. I don't even know that much about it. Levels, okay, we're at 80. General, here we've renamed it, and that's fine. Let's go ahead and hit. You can see down here, the device is enabled. There's no reason to disable it. So let's go ahead and hit OK, and then hit OK again. And now you see I've already opened up Audacity. Now right now with Audacity, it is the microphone I'm using right now is run through a different ART product called the USB Tube MP, and that's what's chosen here. But we want to change that. We want to set it up to work with the DualPre. However, in order for me to do that, I have to stop recording for a bit to get the microphone set up with it. But you can see that basically, well, see, it's not, since we just installed this, it's not there right now. So it detects the available microphones on startup. So what we'll have to do is shut down Audacity and then restart it, and then the USB DualPre should be a choice. So there. Restart it. And now there it is. So we could change over to that. Now the USB DualPre also works as a sound card to send sound out to your system, and so it's automatically chosen that as our speakers. It doesn't matter right now because we're just recording, but normally you want to do it that way. It's just a great little unit. You bypass your sound card altogether. You keep everything digital right up to the moment where it gets to the USB DualPre. But don't worry about that right now. The important part here is to have the microphone set up here to USB DualPre, and you can see we have it set as mono, and that's the only choice it's going to give us because we told it to set up as mono when we came down here and did these settings here. So if this were changed over to stereo like that, I don't know if we have to restart. Yeah, if we restart this, then it should sense the stereo change. Yeah, see, there we go. Now we can tell it's stereo. And then it would, as I said, it would record the exact same thing on both channels, but when we went to edit, it would give us the choice of independently editing the two different channels. I'm going to go ahead and go back to mono. And, because your audio programs give you that choice of mono or stereo, you could just leave. If you wanted to, you could leave down here. You could leave that as 2-channel, in other words, stereo, just to give you that flexibility. Doesn't matter a lot. I'm going to go ahead and go back to mono. If for some reason, back to 1 channel. If for some reason I want to change that, I know how. It's not a big deal. And so there we go. It still gives us that, but that really doesn't exist. So let's go back to mono. And now I'm going to go ahead and hook up a microphone to the USB DualPre. That'll be the next video, and we'll go from there.